Hello! Presentations can be intimidating, and it can be difficult to properly execute one that leaves a resonating message with your audience. Many things can go wrong, which makes it difficult as a presenter to communicate with your viewers and help them understand your main points. I'm Rebecca Swink, and today I will help explain 5 of the most common presentation downfalls, how they affect your presentation and audience, and what you can do to avoid them. The first major problem that you may face is not coming prepared. When you begin a presentation without the proper groundwork, you immediately lose any credibility you had with your audience. They will quickly tune you out, and you will lose the engagement you had previously. Scrambling to find the right words and trying to use technology that isn't working also makes you look extremely bad. To fix this problem, there are several things you can do beforehand. Make sure you practice. If you know your material, it will be easier for your audience to follow along and remain engaged. Try running through your presentation in front of a group of friends several times. You should also know your audience. Think about the information you will be giving them and how it will be easiest for them to understand this information. You will need to arrive at the venue early, with plenty of time to look around the space. Make sure there is enough room to move and set up your slideshow or other presentation tools, and make sure they will be functioning properly. The second downfall is not using your presentation tools well. If the tools you choose to use are boring, bland, too complicated, or too animated, then it can create internal noise for the members of your audience. That means they won't be paying attention to what you have to say, and you won't receive very much audience engagement. If you have used a tool that is loud or involves a lot of movement, like a video, it can become too distracting, and the audience will not pay close attention to the message. In order to help combat this issue, keep your slideshow simple yet interesting. Use complementary colors and fonts that are easy to read from anywhere in the room. You can also use tools that promote audience interaction, like Kahoot! And Padlet, which allows audience members to answer questions online, or Participoll, which asks the audience a question and then polls the answers. These tools let the audience members use their phones on a certain slide projected on the screen, which then immediately inserts their answers into the slide, and then they are directly interacting with the presentation. This helps them stay engaged and interested in what is being presented. The third big downfall is a lack of flow. A choppy presentation is due to bad organization. If you choose the wrong organizational strategy, then there's a good chance your presentation won't be received well. Furthermore, it won't make sense to your audience, and it will be harder for them to follow along. To help you, you will want to consider your audience once more. Think about how they will want the information delivered. This will depend on the setting of your presentation and the type of audience members present. You should also think about your topic. In what way can you talk about your main ideas that will make the most sense? Some examples of organizational patterns are chronological, meaning you give the information in sequences, and problem solution, much like the presentation I am giving now. Another of the biggest issues presenters face is too much or too little movement. When a presenter remains motionless in one spot, it is extremely boring for the audience and the person presenting. Looking too stiff tells the audience you are nervous and not confident. And let's be honest, it looks pretty weird. This is certainly my biggest challenge when I give presentations. The thing that will help the most with this problem is, once again, practice. Going through your presentation beforehand in front of a couple people will help you relax during the real thing. You can get used to making hand gestures, stepping toward the audience to keep them interested and engaged, and smiling so your audience knows you want to be there. However, one thing you must keep in mind is that a little goes a long way. Making your movement too big or too repetitive can distract your audience. Find some middle ground where you and your audience are both comfortable. The fifth primary downfall of presenters is anxiety. This happens to even the most experienced presenters. When you're nervous, you won't have a strong voice, meaning you can talk too quietly, or your voice can shake, making it difficult for the audience to hear you. This can also lead to the use of or which are words typically inserted to fill space where there is silence. The first thing you should do is to act excited in front of your audience. If you are enthusiastic to be there, then they will be too, and that will increase the chances of you speaking with confidence. You should take short pauses throughout the presentation to give yourself time to think about the next thing you say. This will also help you eliminate filler words like or so. Be sure to project your voice so that all audience members, even the ones at the very back of the room, are able to understand you. And of course, make sure you practice. Practicing increases your confidence when you present, calming your nerves and making your voice loud and clear. Now when you are getting ready to give a presentation, hopefully you can better avoid these issues. Again, get to the venue early to prepare. Use tools to keep your audience engaged. Organize the presentation in a way that is easy to understand. Move around the space to avoid awkwardness. And be sure to enunciate your words and project. Although it's a lot to think about, if you do these 5 things, you're sure to impress your audience. Thank you for listening. I hope I have helped you better combat these presentation downfalls, and I hope you enjoy my extended version of this presentation in May.